From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Waker's pearls and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance, it was resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Deanest Nightly, never free from the debt. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined. Where was next? Temples from the rubble, made cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right, what we got here? All right, this is, and you are Under the Groove. Welcome everybody to the Under the Groove podcast, y'all. Here I am, and there you are. Happy Wednesday, to say the least. We're halfway through, right? Another week. Where'd it go? Where'd it go, man? What did we accomplish? What have we gotten done? You know, whole question we supposed to be asking ourselves. What are we doing? Okay, hold up, man. Thought I was ready. Okay, there we go. What's up, man? Thought I was ready. All right. So, yeah, hey, peace and prosperity, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Good that everyone is about, here. You know what I'm saying? I see you guys in the comments already. Good look. Appreciate that. Before I start, a couple of things. Been really busy on this end. Yesterday, it was necessary that I didn't show up. I had things to do around here. It's for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? I may discuss it in a few days. So I had to take care of that. That was necessary. Priorities, priorities should always be first. People, no matter what, prioritize, our lives, especially when it concerns family, immediate family, things of that nature. So that's what it was. That's out of the way. I'm fortunate to be here. All right. Fortunate to be here. All right. Right quick. Chris, I see you, man. You say Dr. Bub. Come on now. I had to stop the OG, Bub. I had to tell, hey, man, ain't no OG, man. They not even close. No more than I am a doctor, but I get it. I appreciate, man, that shout out like that, Chris. Appreciate you, man. I'm good, brother. How you been? All right. That's what's up, man. We in this thing, right? We in this thing, man. I got a couple of clips, as we, tend to try to do from time to time. Very insightful, informative, and educational, if you ask me. Things we've spoken on just recently, in the last week or so. We had these discussions about this very clip I'm going to show first. Well, second. First, though, I want to tap in on something. I'm calling out to the RGC, to our viewers, those who participate, not just, coming in the comments, but actually, come in and listen and, read what's going on in the RGC chat. I have something I want to put before the people, the RGC as well. Very important. When we talk about supporting our people, let's be mindful of who we're supporting, why we're supporting them, and whether or not that support they're asking for is warranted or, should be respected. In this respect, I think it is. I'm asking specifically for the support of an individual who's about his business, been taking care of his business, went through college, film school. He's almost there. He has one final assignment, very important assignment, if you ask me. It's his film thesis. You know, I think this is the final assignment that completes not just the course, but his grade, you know, that put him over the top. So we want to support him in that. All right. So what I'm about to show y'all now, I put it in the chat first and foremost. Okay. Yeah, there you go. It's the first message in the chat. All right. So again, you know, I put this in the chat again, family. This link is to a crowdfunder that is asking the community for its financial support towards a great cause and career. All right. Our brother Timothy Hamilton is seeking the support of the community towards his film thesis, which will be his final grade in completing his college course in film school. So go to this link, y'all. Check this link out. But I'm gonna bring the link up after I get through with this, so you guys can, you know, get an idea of what's going on. Hopefully that would entice you to go in there and check this out. All right. So yeah, go to the link, man. Become aware of what his craft is. You know what I mean, and why it's so important that he receives the support of the RGC as well, or as much as from the Black community in general. He's the next great Ryan Coogler. I hope I said that right. Coogler. That's the guy who made Sin, Black Panther, and all that. This brother is actually bad, man. And I'm speaking to Tim too. He's actually bad with his shit. But look, man, he's ready to make his debut. All right. So let's support him, people. Let's support him. He has a crowdfunder page, link. Go check that link out, man. Help this brother out, because I'm telling you guys, we need more Ryans in the business, and Tim for sure. His name ain't Ryan, but his name is Tim Hamilton, and the man gonna do the damn thing. I can't wait for him to get his paperwork, his paper, his degree, his credentials, because I want to be the first one that, you know, he applies his talent to, you know, because I have some ideas and he understands that. We've had this discussion. So yeah, man, I'm not just happy for him. I'm grateful for him, because he's doing something in this family that means a great deal. You know, he's setting an example. He's setting a precedence, and our families need that. You know, when we have individuals like this in our family, these are the individuals we're supposed to support. You know, I'm gonna keep 100. You know, it's way better than support No Jumper or any of those other platforms that dish out BS, you know, and feed the people poison. This ain't him. You know what I mean? So any support that is generated to him, his crowdfunder link is going to be put to great use. Trust that, you know? All right, let me just see if I can tap in on this link, and we'll go through that right quick. But yeah, man, check that link out, y'all. Let me get up in here right quick. All right, here we go. Let me go back, because I know I got to add it to get down. My bad. My bad, everybody. All right, let me take this one out. Yeah. This the type of support our brothers need, man, and our sisters. All right, so here you go right here. Here's his page. It is a crowdfunder page. It's legitimate. You know what I mean? This is the thing, man. So he has to, as a part of his thesis, create a short film. There's a title, No One's Gonna Know. A student thesis short film, all right? And again, he goes to film school in LA, man, and he's been at this, man, nonstop, man. I'm telling you, we're proud of him, as we know he's proud of himself, you know. So we want to make sure that we can help him in any way possible. This is just one of the avenues, you know. When he gets up and running, yeah, we're going to tell everybody and their daddy and mama, go check this film out, you know. That's how much support he has from this side, you know. And being that we're family, we're saying, hey, go support this brother, man. It's good. It's for a good cause. All right. Here's his aim. Well, first off, we see here, you know, his target is $4,500. All right. There's that donate button, as well as that share button. So when you donate $1, $5, 10, 20, you know, hey, don't just donate it. Push that red button, push that share button. Send it around to the people, man. Let's help this brother. Because like I said, anytime we have brothers and sisters doing something positive, not in the streets, not, messed up on drugs, not doing just silly, crazy shit. When we have brothers on their game, on their square about business, we supposed to support them straight up, whether they blood or not. When they black, just give them that support. Be mindful of the type of support you give. I wouldn't ask nobody no different or say any different than that. You know what I mean? But here's a brother, I'm telling you, give him that support, y'all, because he's going to put it to good use. All right. So there's that first get down right there, man. Let's help him get started. All right. So this right here, we're aimed. This is TJ. It's about his project, about the project owner. Again, you guys can go through this, man. Direct to LA Film School student. All right. And this is the title of his short, No One's Gonna Know, a story about pressure, ambition, and consequences. Now, a lot of our youth don't even get that right there. No one's willing, get at them about those things, pressure, ambition and consequences. We tend to let, our youth just go on about their business, man, and not try to help them, direct them, school them, lace them, guide them, motivate them, inspire them. We just leave them by the wayside. We're not going to do that, man, with our brothers and sisters who actually are doing not just good for themselves, but who have a vision to do good for himself and his people. So let's support him. So there it is right there. It's giving you a short bio. It's not necessarily a bio, but what his project is about, where he's been going to school. Like I say, man, this is, the type of brother we want to support, straight up. Straight up. This is the type of brother we want to support. All right. So he's giving you guys a synopsis, a brief description of what the short movie or the short film is about. Again, you guys, go check this out, man. This is a straight shooter right here. And he deserves support. He deserves support. People want to donate, it's your money. Donate who you want to. But here's somebody, man, or in regards to a donation, it's worth it. He's worth it. He's worth it. So go check that out, y'all. I put the link in the get down, and that should be enough to get everyone over to this page that we're looking at right now. All right. All right. There you go. It's legitimate, man. And this brother, he's at, the community. Let's step up, man. That's it. Let's just step up. Let's represent. All right. Let's represent. And they don't just go for this brother, for any of us. When y'all got something, we put it in the community thing, we get down. That's the type of support our brothers and sisters need. Let them know we got them, no matter what. All right. So go check him out, man. That's TJ's Get Down. That's his page for his crowdfunder. Let's tap in, y'all. Let's make a difference. All right. Let's make a difference. All right. Let's get back to this, man. Listen, again, I can't say enough about it. I would probably, like, well, you biased, yeah, but I think I'm like that with anybody, especially when they're about it. Especially when they're about it. I support my brothers, my sisters, man, wholeheartedly, man, when they're on the righteous path, when they're doing what they're supposed to do. That's what kind of individual I am. I understand the other side of it, been there, done that, and I got from that nothing. I got some lessons. Some hard lessons, right? But in terms of, what I went through and others like me, there's nothing concrete we can show for it in the positive sense that we built from that. You know what I mean? As a result of that, and here it is, that don't exist for none of us. Whoever done this, can't none of us say, hey, man, I made a killing and a living on this shit, and without being scathed, scarred, ruined, incarcerated, and a whole lot of other shit. It just don't work like that. So we're in this different space, man. And we have individuals like TJ who are in that space. They're about the business, And again, this go for any brother or sister come up on this get out. Hey, man, by all means, what you got, give it here. Not only will I post it, yeah, we could talk about it, That's what's up. All right. So again, man, peace and prosperity, man, to everybody in the RGC, the chat, man. Let's do what we do. And I think that's a good segue into what, I have laid out for us today. And as always, you guys come on in, man, and let's talk about it. Today is Wednesday. We're going to call this Wednesday's Wellness and Wisdom. Got a little wisdom for you, though. That's for sure. Because like I say, in the last week or so, we've been discussing what's going on in society. We got a lot. Hey, man, this shit is crazy, but it is what it is, right? We're not going to waste too much time about the naysayers. I don't think that's wise, But what we do need to understand is there is a certain way of going about fighting the beast. It's just that everybody not going to be with that part, That's a whole different beast, But I'm going to drop that in a hot second. Let me read some of these get downs, man. Again, I see you, Chris, Dr. Bub. Hey, man, don't start no shit, man. Please, y'all don't start calling me Dr. Bub. Anyway, man, I'm good, brother. Good to see you up in here, Chris. And how are you and the fam, bro? Hopefully everything is everything, all right? I see you, Antonio, man. You already know how it go. Love and salute. All right, Raymond, what it do, loved one? Loved one, Raymond Skoll, y'all. Salute to you, bub. Peace and greetings to the RGC. B1 equals black first, no doubt. All right, Soldier Denise, one of our queen sisters' mothers, is in the house. Greetings to the RGC. Good to see you. Did you get my text, Soldier? Read your text and hit me back, Let me know how that, where that stands so I know exactly what's what and how to, respond to it. All right. Appreciate you, sister. All right. Queen Nzinga says, happy hump day, kings and queens in the RGC. B1 is black first. That's all it means. Nothing more than that. That in and of itself is a movement, Rakufu, you in the house. I see you, bro. You said, man, conformability. Raku says, man, the meaning of that is legal or scholarly consistency, the quality of being in agreement with the rule, standard, principle, or prior statement. Conformability. Appreciate that, Ra. The witness's testimony lacked conformability with the physical evidence. You up in that thing, man. Word for the day, y'all. Conformability. All right. And peace right back to you, Ra. All right, Antonio. Fat Rat, what it do, loved one? All right. You say, man, peace to you and the RGC, big bug. Right back to you, man. Peace to you and yours also. All right, Soldier. Yeah, I sent that thing about 4 days ago. I'm like, all right, she must be out of town doing the work you do, the advocacy you do. So I knew not to bug you. I know how you get it in, man. Looking out for the people in the community. Appreciate you. All right, so look, let's drop this clip because I again, and this is coming from a brother. Well, it's coming from a brother. Tight shit. And again, it's something we've spoken about. If we really want to understand how to defeat what's in place. I use a different terminology. I say we have to unplug from the matrix, and that be my statement on that. So rather than me keep rambling on, let me go on and get up in here, man. Drop this clip right quick. Very, very insightful, like I say, informative. All right, here we go. Let me go back. All right, get a bar there.
We need to come together and do one thing: stop participating. And when we do that, the game is over. When we literally say Monday morning, we're not going to go to work. Imagine if 30 million people didn't go to work Monday. Imagine if 30 million people didn't buy gas on Monday. Imagine if 30 million people went to the bank on Monday and said, I want to withdraw all my money. They can't even give it to all 30 million because only 15% of the cash is available on hand at any given time. The rest is fake zeros and ones. That would collapse the banking system in one day. You see the power in that? You have the power. We all have the power. But what's keeping...
We say this all the time. And I'm jumping right back. You hear a lot the phrase power to the people. And I'm telling y'all, man, they can't get... That's really not how that works. The power is in the people. It's already there. So when you use that word or that connotation, power to the people, that phrase, you're giving the people the idea that you can give them something, they can receive it. you know, or they can't have it unless it's given to them. Power to the people. No, power is in the people, man, to do whatever they want. Real spit. To do whatever they want. The power is in them, especially when they're in mass, especially when they work together. Nothing can stop that power. Just reflect on that. And I'm speaking specifically right now about black power. No greater power, man.
Us back from doing this. Fear. Oh my God, if I don't go to work, I'm going to get fired. And if they don't participate in it, and I'm the only one that doesn't show up for work, I'm going to lose out. You're not going to be able to pay my rent. I'm not going to be able to make my car payment, and so forth and so on. You see the trap they have us in? They have us in this system where we're afraid to work together.
That's why the system needs people to be distracted and divided, fighting each other. Because once people come together and realize that they can create change, then the whole system collapses.
Real shit. And that was a short clip. It was nice and short. Nice and short. You know, it need to be long and drawn out. But yeah, there that is, man. And I think there's so much truth to that. More truth than a lot of us are willing to acknowledge. You know, again, I think for the most part, a lot of us immediately, when we hear the idea or when we hear how to take control or power over self, we immediately, our minds are wired in such a way that we immediately reject that. Because like he said, like most of us know, our first thought is, how I'm going to pay my bills. In other words, how am I going to continue to appease those who run everything and, you know, be in good favor? If I don't give them what they want, how they set this system up. If I don't give them what they want, my lights will go off. If I don't give them what they want, my water goes off, my gas goes off, you know. That's why we reject, or we reject it outright. Like, oh no, man. If I don't pay my rent, if I don't go to work, if I don't do something, you know, I think we have it backwards. If you don't, then you're going to continue to find yourself in this cycle. And that's really all it is. We're in this cycle, and the cycle continues. It continues to go. It continues to turn. And the older we get, guess what? The younger they are who come in it. You know, they get them early now. They get in that cycle immediately. Boom. They're locked in. You know, in the young age, they start worrying about bills, how to take care of themselves, you know, understanding that in order for them to live a life that has been described by those who have everything, in order to have that life, you got to toe the queue. You have to toe the queue. Otherwise, you have nothing. You have nothing, you know. The saddest thing about it, they led us to believe that these things matter more than our lives as human beings, you know. If we don't have these things, then we're less than, you know. And that's some bad shit. That's some sad shit. But that's the reality that most of us deal with on a daily. You know, if I don't pay my mortgage, they'll come take my home. You know, they'll take my land. I don't pay the car note, they'll come take my car. If I don't put gas in it, it won't move. You know, so most of us, when we hear truth in terms of overthrowing something or turning something over, you know, getting rid of it, dismantling it, most people are not going to be with it because we've been conditioned, indoctrinated into thinking and believing that this is the only way, you know. And even with, or in terms of those who say, well, there's a different way, we do this like this, A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3. A lot of them fail to realize, though, you're still functioning within that system. That system still exists. It hasn't been dismantled. Even though a lot of us tend to think, okay, we got a little something. We have our co-op over here. We're doing our thing over there. And yet, yeah, we're still paying the system to live. You know, you're still in the system. When you unplug, when we unplug, especially in large numbers, and I've said this before, you know, my first time seeing this clip, the system collapses. It collapses. You know, we said, hey, man, it can't be 5 million. It has to be 25 million or better for it to actually happen. If 30 million blacks said, Not today. Not today. As a matter of fact, none this week. It would collapse. The whole thing would collapse. You know? But again, we're stuck in this mindset where, okay, we don't do what we've been told to do just to survive. Then we stop existing. We stop surviving, you know? And I'm going to tell you, that's the worst part of the whole thing, that we're convinced that without being a part of the system in some capacity, we're asked out, you know? And that's not true. Ain't nothing that's so far from the truth. You know, it is what it is. All right, Henry, I see you up in here, man. You say peace to all the brothers and sisters in the chat. Salute to you, Brother Bub. Salute right back to you, Henry. Always a pleasure to join you all under one nation, one groove. Appreciate that, bro. Good to see you as always. All right, Soldier Nisa, I appreciate you as well. Let's talk soon. Yes, ma'am. I got you. FYI, everything is a go. Yeah, we'll discuss that for sure, for sure. For sure. You know, I'll tap in with you when we're done with this, if you're available. All right. Now, you know, my next clip is a little lengthier, and at the same time, is coming from a source that I think some of us would trust. However, what it's speaking to is still being a part of the system in some respect or another, because in order to establish what's being discussed, you have to go through these processes. And without going through these processes, then what you want to establish won't be allowed. So that means, yeah, the system is still involved. You know, so I'm going to play this one, and then, you know, we're going to do what we do. Like I said, we chop it up and get to the bottom of some things. Let me get rid of that. Okay. Let me see. This it? That's it. Okay. Boom. Yeah, man. Crazy work, y'all. Crazy work. Here you go.
The policing of Black America. I don't want to talk about reform because that's a half measure. I don't want to talk about retraining because you can't retrain a racist. I don't want to talk about civilian review boards that have absolutely no power, when we all know it's the police unions with all the power, because you cannot fix a foundation that was built to destroy you. You can only build a new one free of racism. The American police force was not born to serve and protect all people. The earliest organized law enforcement took the form of slave patrols, armed groups of white men whose sole purpose was to hunt down enslaved Black people who dared to seek their freedom, captured, beaten, and returned to bondage by the forerunners of the modern American police officer. That is a documented historical fact. And a system created to enforce slavery does not become a system of justice simply because time has passed and the uniforms have changed. The mindset and their main target has stayed the same. That original mission, control, containment, and punishment of Black people has never left this corrupt institution. The evidence is everywhere. But the majority in this country is collectively okay with how Black folks are treated. That's why anti-Blackness is always trending. That's why I receive hate mail and death threats every day for daring to educate and organize my people. Here's another fact that all you cowards will deny. Black Americans are the most over-policed group in this nation. And when police murder us, when they shoot unarmed Black men, women, children, and 1-year-old babies in the street, in their cars, in their homes, the explanation is almost always the same. I feared for my life. They feared for their lives from a man holding a cell phone. They feared for their lives from a woman sleeping in her bed. They feared for their lives from a child holding a toy at a playground. They feared for their lives from a baby in a car seat. That fear is not professional judgment. That fear is racism. As part of our National Black Legislative Agenda to be ratified at the National Black Action Convention in Chicago in 2027, we are putting forward a historical proposal, the development and implementation of our own community protection force, not a vigilante group, a structured, accountable, community-controlled protection system built on the principles of serving and protecting our people, not surveilling and suppressing and harassing them. Imagine public safety rooted in trust rather than fear. If we want life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, we have to give it to ourselves. The United States police force does not have the trust of Black America. They never did, because it has never earned it. I love you, Black man. I love you, Black woman. Knowledge is power. Power to the people.
Okay, you cannot give power to the people. Power is in them. But okay, I get the gist of that. I have to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The concept, should have been that way. If many of us recall back in the, the 60s and parts of the early 70s, that actually existed in some states in this country where Black Panthers policed their own, they had certain, forces where they patrolled their communities, kept crime down, did what they supposed to do. And yet, what occurred? The same thing that occurred then, I have no doubt that it would occur now. That racism she's talking about, it's unabashedly, it's unashamed. You know what I mean? They can care less. Just the not blowback, but the resistance, the denial to police self. The resistance to that would be so extreme, I'd love to see it. I would support it. Even though I think that in a lot of respects, it still would have to be in some regard tied into the system. It would have to be, you would still have to go to the system in order to implement some of these processes in terms of policing our own communities, guns, shit like that, just all kind of stuff you have to do. That's a part of the system in order to get done or have to exist. So that's all I'm saying to that. And again, as long as we're in the system, as long as we participate in the system in any form of fashion, we're subject to their get out. We're subject to their get out, straight up. That's just my take on it, but that's okay. All right. That's okay. All right. Fat Rat said, man, in truck game, I remember picking up at an Anheuser-Busch warehouse. I went inside, and this monstrous warehouse was 80% automated with robots. I literally saw where the 5,000 jobs had gone. Now, this was over 6 years ago. And yeah, they're talking about this shit now, but it was already in place 6 years ago. AI had already been, and we had this discussion, but damn, 6 years ago, 5,000 jobs taken away by robots. Anheuser-Busch. So you're going to say, man, without free labor, America's method of capitalism can't sustain. So they have simulated free labor. They have simulated free labor by manipulating corporate tax regulations. Our numbers in the labor force have been measured for impact, and their think tanks have deemed automation to be the answer. And I have to agree. You're talking about something that happened 6 years ago. You had first-hand knowledge and you saw this 6 years ago, bro. Who would have thought that, right? 2026 or 2025, if we paid attention, what Trump did in terms of how he went after DEI, a program that really never served us first anyway, as well as affirmative action, how he, scraped that from the books. He erased that. But he went after workers, mostly Black, Over 300,000 of our people lost jobs that he said AI can do. They haven't gotten them jobs back. And yeah, AI is actually probably doing those jobs right now. So when we had this discussion some time ago, maybe a couple of months ago, 3 months ago, I was saying then I was, trying to, convey to brothers, it doesn't matter actually what type of job we have or what type of job exists. If we can do it, AI can do it. I talked about education, healthcare, in the medical field, in hospitals, warehouses, places like that. If AI can do it, well, AI can do it. It's just a matter on when they'll implement it and where or who they'll implement it on first. We already got a great example who were the first, to lose a job because of AI. And I can now say 6 years ago, Fat Rat went in this warehouse, this monstrous place, huge place, and it was AI. It was being ran by robots. All right. We know for a fact, 2025, early 2026, over 300,000 jobs. And this was just, believe it or not, Maryland and DC, where these people, our sisters and brothers that lost their jobs to AI. That's the game plan. That's the game plan in terms of how Fat Rat said they're going to manipulate the books to make it, make their money and then, apply for these taxes or whatever, however they go about doing it. Oh, shit. That was 8 years ago. That was pre-COVID. Fat Rat said, correction, bub. It was pre-COVID. So 8 years ago, not 6. Imagine that, man. And we tend to think, a lot of us, that this shit is just really starting. It's already been in effect, that's, so, we're one, ignorant, we're dumb, or we're just, we're not paying attention. We're not focusing. We're not really being aware of the lives we're living and, who has a say in how we live our lives. None of us run anything. That's the whole point I want to make. Those who do, they have a plan. Those think tanks actually work like that. Black people are in we're in trouble because we're the first that's going to take that hit. No doubt about that, Okay, now rather than lay back or sit back and wait for that shit to cascade, upon us, just, hey, man, let's start using our heads. Let's become wise about the lives we live. How do we combat this shit, Because at some point, all of it is going to be stripped from us so that we will, in the realest sense, be at the mercy of those who run everything. I mean, everything, So it's something to think about, man. We're going to be wise, man. We want to be well. We want, be in wellness, be our well-being, be good, we just right, man. We're thinking on all pistons, man. Or every decision we're making, it's a wise one. We need to really get on our game. We need to really get on our game. I notice how those people who are being, put out of business, they got a whole new tactic. They got a couple of them actually. And we had that discussion. They were going to come out of the woodwork. They're doing that now in mass. It's more of them coming out. In spite of the fact there are a lot more coming out saying, y'all come back. I think they have a 2-3 prong, approach to this shit. There are those who are speaking out like, man, yeah, whatever. You're hearing them more and more. I heard one that say, we're going to get you back. We're going to get all y'all back. We're planning it out now. I wouldn't doubt that. I just wouldn't. Because I think that plan is going to be they're going to be assisted by those who run everything. Again, man, the objective is always keep us on the lower rung of the ladder. It's never for us to climb above anybody. We're the real threat, so they use others, stack them up on top of us to keep that, keep us, pressed or compressed so that we can rise. Hey, man, that's just a fact. We got $2 trillion, man. And we ain't figured out how to use it yet. And they love that shit. They love the fact that we don't know how to utilize $2 trillion. Man, that would hurt shit. The Fed, that would hurt if we just did what we're supposed to do. Again, and everything ain't for everybody. A lot of our people are off code, and that's just where it's going to be too, in a lot of respects. Again, historically, a lot of our people have been off code. Harriet Tubman said what she said. She could have freed way more had they only known that they were. You know what I mean? Same apply, man. Just different age, different wording. If we don't get it together, yeah, man, shit. There's no, shit, man. No hope. I was talking to an older brother today. He runs his own publishing company. We sat down, we chopped up for over an hour. This brother been to Vietnam and everything. He's not ignorant of the system at all. And he said, man, I don't know what to think about our people, especially our young brothers. And he say, I don't even focus on the sisters because that's just debauchery. He said it just like that. But here's the thing, man. His point is taken because most of us see what he see. Not just in terms of the attitude of our young brothers, man, but the system and how it plays this game with our people, man. The minds, mentality of our people. It's a raw game. It's a cold game. Anyone heard that new song out? Shit, brother-in-law was just telling me the name of that song where run it up, go do the licks, do the flocking or whatever, and hurry up and go spin it, some shit. I forget. Yeah, I don't listen to most of that shit. I don't listen to that shit, but it's called something like that. Spin it up, spin it quick, some shit. I don't know. But the point is, that's the mentality of our young brothers and sisters. As soon as they get it, they hurry up and spin it. On what? With who? On what and with who? So the song, though, we trust that, or we think that the song was intentionally created and written by other people and given to the female who made it out of New York, Smoke or something. I forget her name. I don't know, man. I don't know half these people, man. Anyway, and, had her, recite the song, and the song just then blew up. That's all you hear now. That's all you hear. I heard it a couple of times on YouTube, and I heard him got away because it was just stupid shit. But this is what we're up against, man. This is what we're up against. We're up against a system that plays dirty. I mean, that plays dirty, man. And anybody who doubt that, oh, whoa, yeah, we slipping. If you're slipping, if you doubt that they don't play dirty. Okay, Fat Rat said, man, have been measured. Okay, I read that part. Fat Rat does say, though, it was actually eerie, bub. Imagine 30 forklifts out of the corner of the eye, picking up palletized freight from a conveyor belt. And on your second take, there's no person operating anything. Maintenance. Yeah, come on with the rest of that, bro. I don't doubt that one bit, but I can't. Only in the movies I saw that. I've seen that. In real life, to see that, it would give me not the jitters, but I would get chills. I'd be like, oh shit, the shit is really at. You know what I mean? I would be, well, I'm convinced now. But I mean, for real, all doubt will be removed if I've seen some shit like that pre-COVID. Man, oh shit. I don't know where I'd be right now. Anyway, you're gonna say, okay, Young Miami, spin that. Thank you, Queen and Zinga. That's the name of the song. Fat Rat, to finish your comment, you say a maintenance crew in the cut somewhere. Crazy work. That's why I love using that phrase now, crazy work. Yeah, that's the only thing. I read on this, I read up on this AI thing, data centers and shit. That's where the only jobs, and it won't be a lot, will exist, for humans, especially in that field. you know, because these things have a tendency of kind of, you know, doing self-maintenance, but for those issues that they can't, you know, conduct, you know, a self-analysis or correct certain, you know, issues with the system or in the system, they're going to have per data center maybe 50 people, and they won't all be maintenance people or cleaning up or, you know, mechanics. They're all, you know, they said maybe 20 of them will be there to make sure everything is running right. Then you got those in there just went cleaning up, you know, getting up water that might, whatever, you know. But that is, for the most part, the machine's going to do everything else. There's going to be no need for nobody to hit you know, a keyboard or, you know, program some shit, you know, encode something. That shit going out the window. It's going out the window, man. And this is how serious this shit is. And the jobs are leaving. They even have it, man, where even farms, especially those farms that get subsidies from the government, they have hardware now. They have machinery now that is computerized. Damn farmer ain't even got to get on the damn thing, man. Don't even got to get on the tractor no more. You know? No need for him. Not only will the tractor go and harvest everything, you got another one come behind and pack it up. There'll be no need. You know, all this shit about, oh, when the blacks coming back to the fields, whatever, that might be those independent farmers who are actually suffering as a result of what Trump did, you know, with these tariffs and shit, and then taking away a lot of money in the farm bill, whatever he's doing. Yeah, they might be independent. They might be looking for some workers, you know. But for the most part, man, those farms that, you know, toe the queue, they don't worry about that shit. You know, they getting their seed, they get everything from the government. Government practically runs the farm. You know, so I don't know where all this shit coming from, man, or where it's going, but I do know we're in a bad way, man. I just think that we're in a bad way. Okay, so the name of that song was Spin That. You know, spend them dollars. Don't save them. Don't circulate them in the community. Hurry up and go buy some Air Force Ones, some Jordans, a gold chain, some ripped up jeans, you know, some that don't fit you, you know. Oh, man, yeah. Spin that. Queen and Zinga say straight bull crap. And the kids are going wild for it. Yeah. And if that, in my opinion, if that's not something that was manipulated and planned by them people, I don't know what is, man. You know, and this person was a nobody. You know, supposedly, I don't know, caught up with a lot of shit that went on with cats that got arrested up that way in New York or wherever, you know. And then boom, in the radio stations or whoever play the music nowadays, you know, just push that shit out like that. Shit. That's a conspiracy for sure, for sure. Damn, I don't have any water. That's a conspiracy. I don't care what nobody say. Straight up. Straight bull crap. I'm watching this shit, man, unfold on these social media sites. I get people, man, they send me shit all the time, right? This shit is crazy, man. You know, you got cats in prison or in county jail, whatever, still with the bullshit, calling on the prison phone. This shit is wild, man. It's like, damn, even in jail, I got to get numbers. I got to get numbers. Even in jail, I got to create conflict. I got to talk about another man's business, the issues, his case. What happened to him? Who got jumped? Who got stabbed? Who got snitched on? You know, this shit is, you know, crazy work. And it don't seem that there's any let up to this shit, man. It didn't spiked up. And it's like, okay, the other shit that in the streets ain't, you know, like that, but you got now, it's all on the phone. Shooting at each other on the phones, man, for hits. And the crazy thing, a lot of these brothers were cool with one another. Now they're all against each other, man. And I'm trying to understand why. What's the reason for this shit? you know, other than, you know, the bag, you know, the bag. You know, all this shit is going to hell, man, in the handbasket, y'all. And if we don't hear them get a hold of this shit, we going to go right along with it. we going to get took down. We're going to burn up right along with you, mother, because we're too close to them. We're too close to them. That's all I got to say about that. But let me see what I got for us, man. No, that's some private shit right there. Come on. 1 second, y'all. Let me pull this clip up. You know, open source. Hold on, y'all. I like this one. All right, hold on. I got some because I'm always interested in this too. I think at some point, I'm gonna do this shit on these people, man, with these badges, the blue suits with the badges. It's a lot of corruption right there. I'm interested in this piece though. Check this out. Where'd it go?
Daniel Cruz. He makes 105,000 a year. He gained a lot of weight. Tacos, man. Velasco gained a lot of weight, but damn, he makes 154,000 a year. Oh. How you guys know? Stay safe out here in these protests. What you gotta do is go to this website.
Who's gonna be doing that, man?
Daniel Cruz. He makes 105,000 a year. He gained a lot of weight. Tacos, man. Velasco gained a lot of weight, but
oh, so you ask for the serial number, not the badge number. This is how you get them. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm even down with any of that shit right there, man. Let's be straight up. I don't know about all that shit. All right, Chris, man, you say conflict is clout. That's another truth. That's another truth. And it seems, yeah, anytime a lot of our brothers, even when they say they're not with that, they go in with that. You know what I mean? It just based on having a discussion about another man or another woman's situation, you know. They bring with, you know, the reaction conflict. We see that all the time, man. You know, I'm not gonna be one to do all that shit. I don't know, man. That shit, I just, what's the word for it, man? It seemed weird to me. You know what I mean? It don't seem like no straight down, no stump down solid shit. You know, that stump down and solid brothers would do. You know what I mean? So, you know, Frederick Hazard, what it do, loved one? I see you up in here with us tonight, man. It's a good look, bro. Good look. Conflict is clout. Hey, man, again, I love the fact that hey, man, just stay away from it. It don't serve nobody, man. And for all those dudes that come in with that shit, just pay attention, y'all. At some point or another, they're going to be right in the middle of the conflict. They come into it bringing conflict. In a week or two, their name's gonna be in the conflict, you know, and you know everybody's a buster and a mark. Oh, when pull up and you know, I don't know, man. Brothers are wasting a whole lot of time, and I don't understand why a lot of brothers, especially with platforms or channels that actually do good, won't switch it up. Why brothers won't talk about those things, man, that really affect us, the kids. Especially the kids. I noticed one brother, Spody Face, man. He advocates, you know, peace, but it's like, damn, man, he can't get out of it. You know what I mean? It's always something or someone seem to be dragging that brother back in, man. And I think that, man, that brother do a whole lot of good, man, if he was on some more shit. If he just, you know, not just him, but a lot of other brothers, if they would leave that shit alone, and start speaking to these issues that really affect us daily. Daily, man, these dudes got people, man, that they can influence to do something other than what they doing or what they're influencing them on. ODM Slim, another one, man. Man, you know, these brothers ain't no dummies, man. And it would be nothing for them, the man, to get up and say, man, I'm gonna do one today. And hey, man, I'm no funnies about the positivity, man. My brothers and my sisters, my community, you know, you can still rep your community, but how you want to rep it? How you want to rep your community, man, for real? How would you like to see your community falling deeper into degradation, deterioration, dilapidation, or would you rather see it prospering, flourishing? You know, and we're talking about the people. You know what I mean? I want to be absolutely clear when I say that. I'm talking about the people. I ain't talking about nothing else, nobody else. I mean that. But these brothers have the following, man. They have the following. And to not do that, to be in this shit and know what it is, or have somebody in it, and still not push for that make this shit right, to keep lives living. Something wrong with these dudes, man. You know, something wrong with them. You know, I can't call it. I don't know what the hell it is, but I just know it ain't right. It can't be that much clout, man, where you just want to see your community continue to suffer, you know, to deteriorate. Damn, if you with that, man, something wrong with you. You know, it makes you wonder, man, who y'all really working with? What side you on? For real. And then it's even worse when you got cats who stump down and they speaking truth to power, and saying cats from the team they own or the community want to come and backbite them, be jealous of them, you know, want them to get DPs and shit like that. Man, what the kind of motherfuckers y'all, man? And these cats, man, they ain't no spring chickens either, man. Listen, you cats, man, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. And I'm telling you, one or two things gonna happen. Y'all look, man, somebody gonna get mad enough to be tripping. Somebody gonna talk on your business or whatever it might be. You're gonna find yourself sitting up in somebody's jail. That's how this shit plays out, man. And if they ain't, it don't seem like they noticed that shit. They haven't recognized that that's the end result. We can go back a year, 2 years, man. There's so many brothers that have been on these platforms. They in jail right now. Why? Oh, we're talking about somebody's business, or talking about their own business on a platform, on something they ain't got no business be talking about. The shit they be talking about on. That shit don't make no sense, man. You know, and again, you feeding this shit to the kids. Who in their right minds, man, want to see them go through the shit we done been through? Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. And again, I'll throw that challenge out there again. And any of you brothers that got a following, who are influencers, do something positive for one day, man. Talk about the positivity that you like to see in the community. You know, the peace, you know, the prosperity, you know, the unity, the identity. Talk about it for one day, man. One day. Be surprised on your comments. You will be surprised by the comments you'll get. And I'm not speaking negatively. I'm willing to wager anybody them comments will be everything they didn't expect. You know? Just imagine that, man. Them brothers did that shit for one day, man. So Denise said, listen, man, the children will learn to recognize such things as subliminal messaging and the power of suggestion. We as a people got this. We must only know that our time has come and act accordingly. We don't have a whole lot of time. I think it was Monday. It was Monday night. I was checking something out. You know how people talk about the reset, you know, how, you know, a lot of things, you know, they end, you know, and then a reset takes place. I think we're in that stage where a reset can happen, you know, but if we're not understanding the reset, then it can happen not in our favor. You know what I mean? Not in our favor. A reset is in motion. I think one is actually in play right now. The shift has already occurred. But damn, man, it's going to be like, it's not going to benefit us because we don't seem to be, we're woke, but we're not unified like we should be. We're not as conscious and connected spiritually as we should be. We might miss that. And then that's a whole nother get down. Our people who are coming up behind us. They don't tell how many more generations the reset will occur again. But shit, that's how long they'll be in this shit. And can you imagine 20 years from now what the system is going to look like? I can. It ain't gonna be nothing nice. It ain't gonna be nothing nice, man. They got shit lined up for our people, y'all, and it ain't nothing nice. For our women and our daughters, especially. For our brothers and our boys, our sons, they got some shit lined up for us, man. And I'm telling you, it's a shock to me that brothers, again, with platforms, don't see this shit or they own the shit they own. I'm saying it because I mean it. It makes me wonder whose team are they on? Who are they working for? Who are they working for? YouTube? It's YouTube? Yeah. Is it Adam 12? Who? The shit is wrong, man. No matter how you look at it. We calling this shit, man, like it ain't nothing. Did anybody hear about an earthquake in Willits, California, 5.8 about 5 minutes ago? I ain't heard no shit like that. I ain't heard nothing like that. Damn, how far? Oh, okay, my bad. So Denise says, look, man, everything is about the children. They are sponges ready to absorb. We must control what they learn. We must be a step ahead of public schools and teach them that kings and queens were made slaves. Chris said, man, it's going to get harder in the future. Okay, hey, Soldier Denise, I hear you. I agree with that. But there's so much at play here, right? So when you say, hey, man, we must teach them, aside from what the school's teaching, which is nothing but to be slaves, right? How do we get their attention? How do we get them when they're not in school and they're out in society where everything is? Because what we see out here in the streets is starting to filter into the schools anyway, right? So, it's minimized in school, but once they leave there, boom, how do we address these kids? How do we go about doing that? Are you saying or suggesting then that when they get out of school, mothers and fathers are mothers by themselves, fathers by themselves, grandparents, whoever, or taking care of, get a hold of them and, bring something different to get there? How does that work? Because like I said, there's so much being put before them that that is distracting them, man, that, your work would never be done. Not to say it's not worth it, So what? It's like what we know work. In spite of what people say, we know work. We know hard work. All right. So how do you deal with that aspect of it? See, schools is one thing. When they leave that mug, man, and then you got the weekend to contend with, how do we combat that? Because that's also a problem. The shit that is occurring in the streets. It's just not the education or the lack thereof they're getting in these schools. So when you say their minds are sponges and they're absorbing, they're absorbing that shit in school as well as, well, mostly everything that's going on the streets and social media. How do we combat that? How do we, how do we stop that absorption? you know, this negativity in their minds. You know, what's on the plate? You know, how do we go about doing that, sister? And I'm only asking you because I know you do this work. You know, so if you will share it with us, let me know, and I can start looking into that. It's crazy. I got nephews. When I come around, you can tell they be like, you know, when they P's and Q's and shit, you know, they just looking at what I'm gonna say, you know, and I say, man, relax. You good, man. Huh? You with we on. Ain't with no funnies, man. But I'm gonna get on, you know, not get on them, but I'm gonna start talking to them, you know, like I do. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, this is this and that is that. You know, 1, 2, 3, ABC. You know, and you know, it's a good look, man. You know, for the most part, because most of them listen. But I know that's only because I'm right there in their face. You know what I mean? What's going on when I'm not present? How do we, you know, not make our presence felt when we're absent, but how do we have it, or how do we give it to them to where when we're gone, it's still there, you know? And they're measuring that against what's already out there that's trying to, you know what I'm saying, keep them off balance. You know what I mean? How do we go about doing that? Excuse me. Chris says it's going to get harder in the future, man. You ain't never lied, bro. It's hard now. I don't know too many people who are not affected by what's going on now. You know, like, okay, we could be okay, but we know somebody who's not, you know what I mean, who's going through it. It's hard, man. It's going to get harder in the future. We think this is something, better get ready. All right, Queen Nzinga said, yes, the earthquake was earlier this morning in Northern California. Oh, that thing just came across my feed, man. Was any damage? Was that near Oakland? Is that near Frisco? Was Sac? Where's that? I think it said Miltilis. I don't know. Chris said, man, we're going to be tearing at each other's flesh with a fork and knife to survive. Yeah, we got to make sure that doesn't happen, man. And this is why a lot of times, man, when we have these discussions, we have to go in depth. We have to do deep dives, man. And we have to be open to suggestions from our brothers and sisters, no matter what. You know what I mean? Especially when they're viable, especially when they make sense. You know, we can't be biased about who we getting information from because of whatever, you know? Yeah, we want to prevent that, you know? And I can imagine how they would like to see us become that as well, you know, cannibals and eating on each other. We already do it metaphorically, you know what I mean? How we prey on one another, you know what I mean? But in the realest sense, you know, they dying on us literally, you know, for real, for real. And I can only imagine how some of them set out, man, to recruit our people to do this. Not, you know, themselves, you know, dying on us, but to gather us up for them. You know, some crazy shit, man. Crazy shit, I think. So Janice said, that sounds like a nationwide challenge, bub. All these street dudes talk about something. All these street dudes talk about something good all day, once a week or once a month. I'm with it. Yeah, I say, you know, don't give them too much space because they forget quick. They, you know, they be itching and in a hurry to go back to that shit that make them, you know, them pennies add up, you know. Once a week, man, and we could get brothers just on that once a week, man. It not only does good for the community, especially them young minds and ears that be listening, but I think it eventually, at least I think that, it rubs off on them. They become a little more conscious, you know, especially if they go about it, man, in such a way where, you know, they're really being genuine about what they're discussing in terms of positivity, or just say, hey, today I want to, you know, talk to the community, you know, some good vibes, you know, some unity, identity, whatever. I think eventually, you know, the more they do it, the more, you know, that change may take a play. It may come into effect, into play, you know. But yeah, that's a start. And yeah, nationwide, you know. I think the hardest place to get that thing up and running like that would be California, though. I really do. I think California would be the toughest, and then maybe somewhere down south. I don't know about. I don't know if it's Texas or Alabama or somewhere, but you know, then you going up into Georgia, maybe the Carolinas. You know, I don't know, man. I see a lot of positive channels, man, and most of them that I mess with, they're not from the South. Some are though, you know, from the Midwest and shit like that. You know, good channels, man. But yeah, that's worth trying, man. That's worth putting out there. Again, that's maybe today is maybe my fourth challenge to brothers. You know, and I know they come in and look right quick, briefly, and then go on. You know, I know they've heard the challenge before. You know, but again, no one's taking me up on it. I would like, you know, I even challenge them to come sit down with me. I'll come on they shit. I'll come on they shit. You know, I ain't got no problem with that. You know, and have especially with those that be popping that shit all the time. I love to go sit down with them. you know, and not to show them up. No, not to show them up. Nah, you know, and not necessarily to expose them in a bad way, but expose them to shit. You know what I mean? But you know, I don't know, man. Some might be ignorant for real. Might not get it for real, you know. Hey, you know. All right, all right. Yeah, that would be a nationwide challenge right there, soldier. Queen and Zinga say, hey, they didn't steal slaves, they stole scientists, doctors, astronomers, architects, teachers, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, entrepreneurs, and made them slaves. Facts. Facts. And again, y'all, it's something that they know about us, we ain't learned about ourselves. Because I'm telling you, they're in fear as to whether or not they can continue to hold us down. You know, but they know something about our capabilities. We might be superhuman for all we know, right? They got the knowledge and understanding because everything that they use. Hey, come on, man. I'll say 98% of everything that the world uses, that people use in their everyday lives to sustain them, to get them through the day, whatever the case may be, come from us. Our people, and not necessarily because of the education from the universities and shit they went through. No, they are already gifted. They were already talented. They were already knowledgeable geniuses. Our people is something they know, and they're keeping it from us. It's probably why also we get these distractions like we do, because as soon as we light on to it, it'd be a wrap for them. But yeah, they've kidnapped, you know, and that's not even the best of us yet. You know, I don't even think that's the best of the best yet. Yeah, appreciate that, Queen and Zinga. So Janice say, yes, sister, yes. Fat Rat say, man, look, after third grade, man, the closest my seeds came to public school was a computer screen. K through 12, we have our own educational system. Muhammad University of Islam. Bub, it's not a religious school. Damn, Fat Rat, slow down, bruh. God damn, Fat Rat. Oh, man, come on now. Don't do that. I'm like this, man. Let me clarify something right quick. I am not adverse to knowledge, man, and learning. I'm just not. I'm not. You know, education. I'm for education. Trust me. No, man. If the place of learning educates the youth, our people, hey, man, can't knock that. I wouldn't attempt to. I don't care who's, you know, whose name was on the mug, man. I don't care. What faith was behind it? If they were putting out not just proud, but dignified brothers and sisters who know they shit and going back out into the communities, man, and putting out what they've imbibed and learned, what they know to be the best. Come on, man, you can't knock that. I surely wouldn't. I wouldn't. And so, yeah, we salute that school, bro. That's what they put it out, man. Educate our brothers and sisters. That's what we need. Educate them. Queen Nzinga, okay, the earthquake was in all right, Mendocino. Yeah. Santa Rosa. I got a buddy out of Rosa, man. Shout out to you, Finn. OG. May everything be everything, bro. I ain't heard from you in a couple of weeks at least, maybe 3. Hold your head. Shout out to you, Roy, Reg and Roy, man. Hope you brothers are well. Queen and Zinga said, okay, all right, I read that already. Soldier Denise said, look, man, we must teach them before they get to school. So we teach the babies. Yeah. But then, see, I'm like what Fat Rat just said. You know, in that respect, I mean that shit. I'm like, man, don't even let them in the door. Don't even let our babies in the door. We know that system, what they call education system, is everything but that. We know this. And yet our, parents send their children to school just to be babysat. I mean, I can't find no other reason or excuse for it, because really, they know. The mothers and fathers came before the children, the babies, they know, And some would probably contest what I'm saying, like, oh, I got a great education, and feel, and those who would probably fail understand and comprehending that they were above board to begin with. The school didn't really give them nothing, That was just, that was a natural ability. They would, had inherent comprehension. That's how they were born, knowledgeable, gifted, intelligent, geniuses, and again, schools, what they call these school systems, I think, again, are detrimental to the people, because a lot of our people will send their kids to the school, and that's where these tests take place. And so they know how to weed out the super intelligent anyway. They recruit early now. They recruit early. And when draft time comes, they go get them. They'll go get them. And a lot of our people think that when a lot of our kids, we got super intelligent children, man, or younger ones. A lot of these places, when they get to these schools, guess who's sitting there waiting for them? Not the university per se, the government. Because when you score at a certain aptitude, they're coming for you anyway. That's just what they do. And then the government decides not on your education, but where your knowledge will be utilized, in what area, what field, what department, and the shit that they learned previous to that individual getting there from people just like that individual who had been there. That's what they train them on. That's what I think. That's what I think. So yeah, so I'm with Fat Rat. I think the worst thing a parent can do today, especially today, is to send their children to public education, to public schools. I think that's the worst. That's where the damage is. That's where it starts, I think. They're not getting nothing in there. You teach the babies before they get to school, but man, teach them to the point where we understand that we send them to school, they're gonna come back dumb. We don't want, we homeschool them. Shit. I wonder, can you get government subsidies for that? Grants? Do they help you provide, or have programs where you can get the materials and shit like that, or do you have to pay for that yourself? Just wondering. Just wondering. Very curious, man. You're going to say, what we have started is a children's program where we come into the communities and we have a kids' day. We make learning fun. Okay. You're going to say we elders must make the sacrifice of our time and money and make these children our priority. It is our responsibility and we can't run from it. You think that's part of it, that a lot of the elders are shucking, or dodging responsibility in terms of, raising these children, educating the kids, Is that part of the problem? Because I'm saying I know some good parents, even though they send their children to these schools, they're good parents. Their kids come home, and these kids aren't in the streets. You know what I mean? They come home and they might go on their little games and shit, but they come home and they do a little more work. You know what I mean? They put in front of them something interesting, something else for them to do, rather than, okay, you come home, now go play on the TV and the computer game. You know what I mean? In that respect. So, there are a lot of parents, I think, that actually do the work after school. But again, I think those same parents make the mistake by sending them to the school to begin with. Excuse me. And it's just what I think. Fat Rat said, man, listen, moral authority has to be our own before we can pass it to our children. Hypocrisy has already delivered its results and disqualification to lead. All right. Moral authority has to be our own before we can pass it to our children. Hypocrisy has already delivered its results and disqualification to lead. Moral authority. All right. And I don't want to spell that out, Fat Rat. We yeah, we want to bring them in. We want, if we spell that out, a lot of people probably be upset. But hey, it is what it is. We a lot lack moral authority. And you know what? The kids see that shit, right? Again, I don't think our children are dumb. I just don't. I don't think it. I don't even think our children have low IQs. So I think they get that. Yeah. When we have people, perpetrating the fraud. Let's put it like that. If that fits. Henry said, man, they know we dominate everything, any position. They will make sure they don't give us certain opportunities that will elevate us to levels they can't ever achieve. Yeah, those are levels they know that you're not going to get, but they don't want us to get there, because at that stage, just imagine if all our creators, inventors, innovators, all those who brought forth to, society, humanity, had they not been reeled in and went instead to the communities, wherever, and we can go back to the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, and just give dispense that knowledge to just us, man. Had that been done, man, they'd be in no shape, form, man, to dictate nothing to anybody. And that's not to say, had we got it like that, we would have been dictating to them. I don't think we're necessarily those type of people. You know what I mean? For the most part, I think most of us just want equality. We want freedom. We want, to be independent, not to dominate nobody. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, we would dominate. It would seem dominance, you know, in terms of any field we get in, because we're good at it. You know, so those who, are inadequate, we're looking like, damn, he dominating, you know. But I don't know. Just imagine, man, our people were able to just, you know, kept that, if they kept it all in the community, if they were able to, you know, if they had the mind to, if they, you know, because I don't think a lot of them were coerced, especially back then, to do a lot of shit they did or to invent what they invented, you know. But I think there was a hand involved to get them in that space where their talents and their gifts could be utilized or exploited, you know. I think, you know, the different sides or different aspects of looking at it. Farrah said, man, I respect your aversion to religion, homie. All right, it deserves the bad rap they got. So here's the thing, though, right? There are a lot of things in scripture that just make sense. You know what I mean? That just makes sense. You know, so in that respect, I think there's the good in it, you know, but I understand how shit really, when man gets hold of something, it gets twisted, it gets turned, it becomes, you know, bad. You know what I mean? It becomes some other than what it should be. Let's put it like that. But I know that there are a lot of scripture. There's scripture where, again, just speaking on everyday shit in terms of how one should carry him or herself, shit like that. You know, listening to wisdom, understanding. Man, that shit is priceless, man. You know, the shit is priceless. You know, so in that respect, man, I appreciate, you know, some of the scripture. You know what I mean? I appreciate when I hear it. You know. Yeah, it's more like the people involved in it who got their hands on it that, you know, that messed it up. That turned me off. Yeah, that's where my aversion come from. But yeah, man, other than that, scripture, not all of it is a bad thing, I don't think. I think it's beneficial. You know, I think it's beneficial stuff, if that makes sense. So Denise said, Fat Rat, I totally agree with more authority. We all should. We all should. Henry Sadello said, listen, man, Elijah Muhammad was saying separation for a reason. Man, who did that? I don't like that there, y'all. No. I'm gonna give that $10 to TJ. That's, you know, we're gonna throw that in the pot. Right quick, y'all. Well seasoned. This is folks. These are people now. Good to see you back. Well seasoned kitchen. 5853, $10, you know, to the get out. Thank you. And this is what I say to everybody, because I actually mean this shit. Don't send this podcast a dime. You know, for real. You know, based upon just way shit is, man, in the world, man, and it ain't just got like this, been bad. I don't want to seem unappreciative, all right? We just were talking about one of our brothers who's he has a crowdfunder. I guess you got here kind of late. I would like for you to have, that would have been nice if that would have went to him, to his crowdfunder, you know, because he's doing something positive. You know, his brother been going to school nonstop for years. I mean, been in it, struggling, man, to get there and get back, man, working the whole nine, taking care of his children, his family, himself. You know, we gonna get it, man. Again, y'all know I don't take no money, man. Well, see, I don't like taking money from the people. It don't offend me, but it hurts that it came to me and it could have went to somebody who could use it. You know what I mean? Not say I can't use money, but you know. So thank you anyway, bro, that's gonna go into that account, you know. And if you guys, you know, got it in you, you want to support somebody for real, go check out the link I dropped. It was the first link in the chat, man. Go check that out, man. And if you brothers and sisters will, you kings and queens, if you will, donate to this brother's cause. This is his thesis. He's in film school. This is for his grade. You know, he's doing a short film. He needs to accumulate a certain amount of dollars. This is how school is now. You know, in order to make the damn movie, you got to pay for the movie, you know. But he's trying to raise $4,500 to get done what he needs to get done, to get his passing grade, his final grade, so he can become the director, writer, whatever he chooses to be in that genre, in that space, that's going to do not just us or himself, but the people proud, you know. So yeah, man, if that go for anybody, you know, most everybody know, I don't like that. I don't accept it. Enough said. So, you know, appreciate that though. Well seasoned. Thank you, bro. Nonetheless, thank you. All right. But you guys want to donate, man, help this brother. He's one of them brothers that, you know, should be supported. Should be supported. Real spit, you know. So again, y'all get at a gander. It's the first one in the whole chat or the RGC. There's a link there. Tap onto that link, man, and let's support this brother, if you will. All right. Now, thank everyone ahead of time. All right. Okay, Henry was saying, man, Elijah Muhammad was saying separation for a reason. We have been successful in history for holding our own until these devils got jealous. All right, so I was sitting with the older brother today, Mr. Potter. Like I say, he has a publishing business. I'm kicking it with him, and we actually talked about that. He said to me, he said, "Do you know when he said, do you know the last time black people were doing good?" And he posed it as a question. You know, I'm trying to. I said, shit, when they was under segregation. And he slapped the table. You got it. He said, man, don't you know, soon as they put us in the integration, we lost everything. The will to invent, the will to create, the will to do all the things we were doing when we were segregated or told we were segregated. I said, I agree. Integration has been our bane. It's the death of us. It's just straight up, man. It's the death of us. And we don't see that shit. Our people don't see how detrimental integration is to the people and how segregation would be all that we've been missing, man. Everything we've been missing is in segregation. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all might not get that, might not agree. We must separate ourselves, man. We should. We should. Even if we're going to do it and stay within the framework of the system, still separate ourselves. Because I'm telling you, we do that, we're going to come up with an idea, a system that's for us, separate from the system we're in. I truly trust that. This is why integration exists. This is why we've been bombarded with stupidity, frivol, and all this other shit. So we can't think straight, man, and bring up or create that system or those systems that would elevate us. This shit is not by mistake, man. Not by mistake. Appreciate that though, Henry. Fat Rat say, Henry, no question, bro. No question. I agree. You see, like when Malcolm talk, I know where Malcolm is talking from, where he's speaking from. I respect that shit and I listen to it. I trust it, even, you know. Real spit, man. Hey, man, and I'm just saying, just using for an example, when he talks about that which ails us, man, and why it is, or why we, you know, our position, how it came, man, it's all truth to me. And he always used the teacher as an example in terms of how he was taught, what he learned. I'm telling you, I don't knock that. I don't knock that, you know. I just don't, because to me it's true. So I you know. Soldier says, look, I have no shame in my ignorance. What is shameful is to know that I know nothing of a topic of importance and not go learn about it. Ignorant just means lack of knowledge of its. Ignorance just means lack of knowledge. It's not an insult. True that. We would, you know, many times we sat in a joint, and I used to watch cats get offended when, like, man, you ignorant. It used to trip me out, man. And you know, the conversation could be heated. It could be a debate, whatever, argument, whatever. But you ignorant was more offensive than calling one another ninja or the B word, or, you know, Buster, Mark, Hook, snitch, you know. Ignorant set cats off. And I always used to trip off that, like, oh, yeah, it fits, because it's not a bad word per se. It's just not. It's just not, you know. And I used to always tell every Salite and homies, period, on the yard, whatever, man, hey, man, let's just get everybody have a dictionary, man, and just, hey, man, learn a few words a day if you can. Learn one a day, man. That way, when people talking to you, man, you can get a bit of what they're saying. If you don't get the whole thing, there are bits and words and shit you can, you know, because you start, okay, that means this, da, 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 you know, and that helps to dispel your ignorance, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you want to comprehend when people are talking to you. You want to know what the hell they talking about. And the only way to do that, man, is to bring yourself out of ignorance. Pick up a book, get a dictionary, man, and learn what this word, how to spell it, what it means, and how to use it. That was something I always talked about. But, you know, I had to tell a few homies, that's not a bad word, homie. It just means really you don't know something. Really, you can take the time to go and figure that shit out, you know. So that's really on you. You know, not a bad word, but, you know, it always tripped me out, man. That word would set brothers off. Oh, ignorant ass MF. And like, dudes would be offended. And I'd be sitting there like, wow. You know, wow. You know, but hey. Yeah. Good point, soldier. Chris says, look, man, we're looking to control our own destiny, not dominate. That's the truth, man. I don't think our people are like that, you know, naturally. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't think we're wired like that. Yeah, with outside influence, you know, negative influence or reinforcing, yeah, we can be every bit of that. And I tell you, man, if that should ever happen, we're going to be the worst at it. We'll be the worst. Of America dropping bombs on Hiroshima, Hitler, and the, you know, the 60,000 of them he killed, wouldn't compare. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good look that we're not wired like that. You know, we're not wired like that, man. I don't think. You know, I don't think we do some crazy shit to one another. You know. All right, so boom, boom, boom. Chris said we're looking to control, okay, our own destiny, not dominate, free from all borders and mental chains that the system puts on us. Yeah, bro. So to say, okay, then, so every set needs to designate 3 to 5 people to learn to homeschool. We do it. Sister Lasite homeschools, and I've sent a little homegirl to her to do the same. It is possible if people just give a damn. Well, Caesar say, lay low, bub. All right, bro. All love. But now you know, right? Don't do that no more, bro. All love, though. Appreciate it. All love. Appreciate you. Soldier says, you know our motto. We all need them. All we need them to do is teach them to read, and right, and we got it from there. I tell you, man, I be coming across some of the craziest stories and discussions, right, relating to our people and what we've been through. One of them was, they said, man, imagine being taken from your homeland, put on a ship, brought to another land, don't know the language, don't know nothing, but you learn to speak the language, you learn to read it and write it without being taught this, because as you know, it was against the law. It's a crime to teach them to do that. And then it evolved, or let's say, you know, it kind of got to the point where I think they were allowed to read from the Bible to some extent, you know, I don't know. But imagine, man, coming over here knowing nothing, to the point where you know, you brought everything to it, right? You get what I mean? You came knowing nothing, with nothing. And as a result of being here, you bought this place everything. You've given it everything. It makes sense. I mean, that's some crazy shit to me, man. And not just this place, but the world. You've given it everything from nothing. Let them tell it, you know? Well, at least from that story, the middle passage to here, with nothing, stripped of everything, and still gave this country all it has. Learn everything about this country, man. In fact, man, you understood how to build this country, even under chattel slavery. Muggs was just, you know, pulling out all stops, man. And I know, man, them people had to be astounded, you know, or astonished when they realized these motherfuckers can read. You know, they know the stars, you know, they know direction. They writing too. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know if the slave master felt when he first heard a black a so-called slave preaching, what he felt. Did he feel proud of himself, or was he scared? You know what I mean? Did it, you know, like, oh shit, this mother reading the Bible better than me. Should I be afraid? You know, should I trust him? I don't know, man. But just the fact that they were able to do every bit of what they done under duress. Under duress. That's astounding to me. You can get this country everything it has and still be treated the way we're being treated. And still, here we are with nothing and still contributing. We're still contributing, man. We ain't got shit. You can get this country everything. Just, in fact, the world. Let's be 100. All love, though. Hey, love one. Don't trip, Laylo. Don't trip, bro. Don't trip, bro. All love and respect, homie. Real spit. So Janice said, man, in my opinion, the problem is that we do not value the intellect. But that was just, I think that's part of the conditioning, though. Yeah, that's why. Reason why it's part of the conditioning. We've been indoctrinated to be foolish, you know, not to be intellectual, you know, unless they okayed it. You know what I mean? Unless, you know, what they consider to be okay to be intellectual. You know, I'm just saying, you know. We put more value in clothes than books. We guard our things better than we do our children's minds. Sad, man. Take better care of a car and a home than we do our babies. Yeah. Deep. That's crazy. That's crazy how you put that. In my opinion, the problem is that we do not value the intellect. We put more value in clothes than books. We guard our things better than we do our children's minds and their lives. Let's be 100. Yeah. All right, soldier. I see you. Say I gotta go, you guys. I'm listening though. Love and blessings to all. We love you for tapping in, hanging out with us as well, sis. And I'm gonna hit you up in a little bit. I'm gonna hit you up. Okay, yeah. Let me put that in the chat again. For well seasoned, and for anybody else, you guys. All right, there it go. Let's see, boom. All right, that is the crowdfunder right there. For any of you guys, want to support a brother that's worth the support from brothers and sisters. Like I said, this brother ain't about no BS, man. He done told the Q. We're proud of him, and we know he expect big things from himself. We support him, and I'm gonna tell you about me. I don't support BS, y'all. I'm gonna keep, even when I wasn't doing this, and I don't know if this sounds right, but even when I was game banging, I didn't support no bullshit or bullshit people, straight up. I just didn't. But there's so many brothers and sisters who deserve our support, man. Here's one. So if it's in you to do it, there's that link, you guys. There's that link. Okay, boom. Henry said, if you look at the old church during slavery days, some of the photos back then have a white man sitting next to the black preacher while he's preaching, and make sure he's teaching the Bible according to their evil beliefs. Yeah, I've seen that. Look, yeah, looking over, we're not looking, just, making sure, what they call it, micromanaging right there. Like, hey, there's some crazy stuff, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know how to, for the most part, I don't know how to deal with it. I want to, we're gonna get ready to cut out in a minute. I want to play this one more time. I'm not gonna play the whole song. I just want to play a part of it, because I'm still trying to work on figuring out how to put the visual to it, the video. And I got to cut it in two, intro, outro. I have to admit, it's all I've been listening to for the last 4 days, 5 days. Up and down the freeway, going to my, my appointments where I take care. Man, on repeat. On repeat. All right, I won't play a little of it, and we're gonna call it a night, All right, hold tight. I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna call it a night, y'all. One more time, man. Wake up, black people.
The household, the backbone, the survival, the one who carried. Wake up, black people. This is not a song. This is a warning. This is for every black mother who buried a child. Every black child who never got the chance to become great. Every elder who remembers when the community stood together. And above all, this is dedicated to the black woman. The first teacher, the first nurturer, the first protector, the foundation of the family. Without a sacrifice, without a strength, without a love, yeah, many of us wouldn't be here today. Wake up, black people. Wake up, black people. around and see the war ain't overseas. It's right in our streets. Young kings killing kings before they 23. Then another mother crying on the evening news feed. Another little baby growing up without a dad. Another young sister carrying trauma from the past. Another grandmother praying while she holding back tears, watching violence multiply year after year. We scream for justice when the world does us wrong, but how we gonna rise if we destroy our own? Every funeral, another dream laid to rest. Every casket, another wound in the community's chest. The ancestors didn't survive for us to die like this. Didn't fight through oppression for us to live like this. Somewhere we lost the code, somewhere we lost the way. And if we don't change now, what future can we save? Wake up, black people. The babies need us now. Wake up, black people. The mothers need us now. Protect our women, protect our children, protect our elders. Let's rebuild our village. Wake up, black people. Yeah. Oh, wake up, black people. This verse for the black woman, the queen of the household, the backbone, the survival, the one who carried generations through the darkest trials. When the world was cold, she was the warmth. When the family broke, she held the farm. When fathers were absent, she carried the weight. Working 2 jobs, still putting food on plates. Who taught us our first words? Who wiped away our tears? Who prayed over our beds and fought away our fear? The black woman deserves protection and respect, not abuse, not neglect, not betrayal, not disrespect. If she suffers, the family suffers. If the family suffers, the community suffers. And if the community suffers, the future suffers. So every real man listening, honor your mother, protect your daughter, love your sister, cherish your wife. Because a community that protects its women protects its future. Wake up, black people. The babies need us now. Wake up, black people. The mothers need us now. Protect our women, protect our children, protect our elders. Let's rebuild our village. Wake up, black people. Wake up, black people. To the young brothers carry anger inside. I understand the pain, but don't let it decide who you become or who you leave behind. Don't trade your whole future for one reckless night. To the young sisters chasing money at any cost, don't help destroy the same community we've lost. A setup for a robbery ain't worth a human soul. One decision can create damage nobody controls. To the elders, we need your guidance. To the teachers, we need your knowledge. To the fathers, we need your presence. To the mothers, we need your wisdom. The village has to come back. The unity has to return, because the next generation is watching everything we do. No more funerals, no more burying babies, no more mothers crying, no more communities breaking. Lift your brother, lift your sister, lift your people, lift each other. No more hate, no more division. It's time for healing, it's time for vision. Imagine the future where the children feel safe, where every young king understands his place, where every young queen knows the worth and power, where unity grows stronger every hour. Imagine neighborhoods building businesses again, families creating wealth instead of visiting pens. Imagine fathers at home teaching sons how to lead, and mothers being honored for the lives that they see. Imagine elders respected every place they go, passing down wisdom only experience can know. Imagine black people standing together once more, not perfect, but united at the core. That's the dream, not destruction, not division, but healing, building, growing, living. Because our story ain't over, and our greatest chapter can still be written. Wake up, black people. The future calling. Wake up, black people. Wake up, black people. The ancestors watching. Protect our women, protect our children, protect our elders. Let's rebuild our village. Wake up, wake up, black people. Stand up, black people. Wake up. Rise up, black people. Wake up, before it's too late. Wake up, black people. Before it's too late. Yeah. This is not a song. This is a warning. This is for every black mother who buried a child. Yeah, every black child who never got the chance to become great. Every elder who remembers when the community stood together. And above all, this is dedicated to the black woman. The first teacher, the first nurturer, the first protector, the foundation of the family. Without a sacrifice, without a strength, without a love, many of us wouldn't be here today. Wake up, black people. Wake up, black people. Look, the ground and sea, the war ain't overseas. It's right in our streets. Young kings killing kings before they 23. Then another mother crying on the evening news feed. Another little baby growing up without a dad. Another young sister carrying trauma from the past. Another grandmother praying while she holding back tears, watching violence multiply year after year. We scream for justice when the world does us wrong, but how we gonna rise if we destroy our own? Every funeral, another dream laid to rest. Every casket, another wound in the...
All right,
Shalom
y'all.
Alaikum. Back in the M.
All right, y'all. I want to hit y'all off with that, man. I'm going to get out the way, man. Always peace and prosperity, y'all. Wellness and wisdom. Wake up, black people. Wake up. Got to get it together. Love yourself, man. Love each other. Take care of yourself. You be in that position, man, to support and take care of another. All right? You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. Power is in the people, y'all. Let's wake up. One love, everybody.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hearst, and writing future history. From the Apollo to the borough to the sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transformed suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than actors, hats, and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch you the applause for pose. Need your data, tropes, and constantly problem when the wet just wanna build the season bait. Now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the cons. Plead them up and soft the main. Make it on the fans, turn and neck and love the dirt. Suffer sacrifice. You went from the preaching up on side and see chillun, bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vet someone that buried in from Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the bonavin. You wait something for the mark, to keep them through the club and saw the boards to the single land is carried open stone to keep us looking on my mother, break your chair and resi for the he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.